Hi, I'm John and this is Foxlow Academy. Today I'm going to be talking about this book, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. The 6 habits that will transform your life before 8 AM. Now I'm sorry Hal, but nothing's changed in my life before 8 AM except for caffeine. However, I do like reading self-help books and I have read quite a few. And quite honestly, I don't believe any single book can change your life. However, I do believe that reading widely, reading often, can change your life. Becoming a professional photographer literally changed my life. If we break it down to its key principle, the idea is get up a bit earlier in the morning and start your day in the right way. That's pretty sound, good advice. As I mentioned, I'm not an early morning person, but there were still some really good tips in there. Essentially, the book breaks down his morning routine. And the way he split it up is using the acronym of SAVERS. S for silence or meditation. A for affirmations. V for visualization. E for exercise. R for reading. And S, which is where he got a bit sneaky, because he went for scribing. What he actually meant was journaling, but scribing allowed it to fit into the SAVERS acronym, which, fair play. So the key principle is that you wake up in the morning and spend 10 minutes allocated to each of these 6 SAVERS activities. It will set you up for the day, allow you to be more productive and help you to achieve your goals. It's all about creating habits out of these different SAVERS activities and how to incorporate them into your life. He also acknowledges that there'll be times in your life where some of these things get neglected because you need to spend more time focusing on others. And I think that's really cool. It's certainly, some of these books can be quite dogmatic in their approach. And certainly if you just read the back cover of The Miracle Morning, you might think this is another one of those books. But to be fair to the author, he does talk about the fact that you need to fit these things into your real life. And he also gives examples of how he's had to adapt to them over years and anecdotes from people who have read and tried The Miracle Morning. He also talks about accountability and having an accountability partner, which I think is a good idea. It certainly helps me within the business, having a business partner who holds me accountable, and in life, having a wife who holds me accountable too. So accountability partners are a really useful thing and quite a good inclusion into the book. The book's a very easy read, it's written in a very conversational way, how it comes across is very relatable. There's no doubt that the man's been through some adversity, and these are the things that he used to dig his way out of that adversity. So yeah, it's an enjoyable tone, it's conversational, it's not a difficult read, it's not full of jargon, it's not full of scientific case studies, which perhaps can be to its detriment at times, but it's an enjoyable, easy read. The book does, as is often the case with these kind of books, sometimes stray into the territory of self-congratulatory, I can never say that word, self-help, business development, guru type language. Lots of talk of mediocrity and other people leading mediocre lives, which I find a bit disparaging at times, and it's something I often struggle with these kind of personal development books. However, he does also talk about how success looks different for different people, and I like the fact that he acknowledges that not everyone is interested in accumulating masses of wealth, but whatever success is to you, he believes that applying the Miracle Morning to your day can help you achieve those goals. One of the quotes I really enjoyed from the book was, "Your level of success will rarely exceed your level of personal development." That's an interesting way of looking at things, and I believe it to be true. So if you have lofty goals, but you're not putting in the work to develop skills that you need to achieve those goals, you probably won't get there. One of my big bugbears with this book is the section on sleep. So some very questionable advice on sleep here. I would not be taking advice on sleep from Hal Elrod. So in his belief, tiredness is just a mindset, and we can survive on as little sleep as we want to have. He believes that if we just tell ourselves, I'm going to wake up in the morning feeling refreshed, that's what will happen. Now, do not take advice from this man on sleep. Take advice from other things. The Miracle Morning's a good book. I did enjoy it. There are actionable tips in there, but do not take sleep advice from this man. Try to get 7 to 8 hours sleep. Telling yourself you're going to wake up feeling refreshed does not mean that that's what happens to your brain. I also enjoyed his talk of a someday mindset. It's something I discuss quite a lot. Being a boudoir photographer, we talk a lot about doing things that scare you, and often people put things on the back burner that's something that they'll do one day or someday. And those things very rarely happen. We have to actually take action to make them happen. So having a someday mindset is usually a never gonna happen mindset. So I enjoyed that section of the book. I thought it was quite interesting, and he does cover it in quite a bit of detail. And I know this can be really difficult for many people. A lot of people do have this someday mindset. But instead of just thinking about maybe I'll do that one day, the key I find is to think, how much do I actually want to do this? And sometimes the answer is not that much, which is why I'm not willing to put the work in. But if you really do want to do something, you need to sit down and write a list of the steps you need to take to make this happen. So in summary, the Miracle Morning, as you can see, I took quite a few notes, lots of highlights, is a good self-help book. I enjoyed it, I took a few good tips from it, and although if you've read a lot of these kind of books, it may not feature any kind of revolutionary new information, sometimes just reading them just makes you feel a bit more inspired. And I always think if there's one or two good tips that I take away from a book like this, it's worth the $7.99 or whatever I spent on it. It's a good self-help book, it's enjoyable, it's easy to read, there's some good actionable advice, and if you're not doing any of the things that he includes in the Miracle Morning, you'd certainly get a lot of value out of this. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that. It's nice to do something a bit different. The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, the 6 habits that will transform your life before 8 AM. It's a mid-tier book, it's good, I do recommend it. Enjoy.